Good morning, students. We have studied about the nerves, the neurons, and the central nervous system, described about that central nervous system, peripheral nervous system, and now it's the turn for the main portion or the major part of the central nervous system, which is the brain. So, today we will study about the most delicate, the most complicated part, or the you can say the computer of our body, and that is the brain. So today we are going to study about the basics of brain with very few points. These few points you have to see the video. You will see after this, just try to repeat the terms, try to revise with it, and it's sufficient for you to prepare notes, to prepare for your examination. So here, brain is the, as I have already said, that brain is the most complicated but the delicate part of our body. So the protection must be it must be secured, it must be protected with a tough covering, and that tough covering is the cranium or the skull box. This cranium is a tough covering, or it is also termed as the brain box. So this brain box covers the delicate part organ, which is the brain. So this the if it is asked for one mark question, what do you mean by cranium? Cranium is the brain box. Cranium is for the protection of the brain. Next part is, what is the weight of brain? Approximately it is 1.35 kgs, and which is around about 2% of the total body weight. Total body or weight of that human being, the 2% is of the brain. So approximately it is 1.35 kgs. Now, what the constituents? It contains 80% of water, and it consumes 25% of total oxygen taken by the body. If 25% of oxygen, so whenever we do more work, not physical work, work related with when you are doing studies for long hour, when you are doing calculations, when you are using your brain more, brain work is more as compared to the physical work. So the utilization of oxygen is more, the consumption of oxygen is more. So we often feel tired after studying for few hours. So that tiredness is just because of oxygen consumption by the brain. So what you can do? You have to study. You have to study for long hours for to get good marks to for your academics. It is must for you to study for 2 to 3 hours or more than that. So for then what you can do for this is just keep a bottle filled with water on your table, and just supply your body with water, as that water supply would compensate the oxygen demand, or would compensate the oxygen consumed by the brain. So this would give a relaxing feel to your brain and to you also. So this you can do while studying. You just keep a bottle along with your side table, on the side on your study table, and this would be helpful for you. So here 25% of the oxygen taken by the body is consumed by brain. Next thing is meninges. Meninges, this question is often asked for the 1 mark or 2 mark question. Meninges, define meninges. So meninges is the three-layered membranous covering on the brain. Three-layered membranous covering on the brain. This layered protection just below the skull box, just below the brain box, there is three-layered protection, and these three layers are termed as meninges, and their names are dura mater, arachnoid, and pia mater. Dura mater is, dura means tough, mater means mother. So this from there the name is dura mater, and it is a tough fibrous membrane. Tough fibrous membrane which is outermost layer, then the middle layer which is web-like, which is web-like, and it gives a cushion-like appearance. And this from the name arachne, which is for spider, the name is arachnoid, and it is web-like layer. It is cushion. It gives cushion-like appearance. So that is the middle layer, or the innermost layer is highly vascular. It is richly supplied with blood vessels. It is highly vascular, richly supplied with blood vessels, and this is the innermost layer of the membrane. In between these three membranes, the three layers, in between these layers, a fluid is present, and this fluid is termed as CSF. CSF is, the full form of CSF is cerebrospinal fluid. Cerebrospinal fluid. So the role of cerebrospinal fluid is to protect the brain from mechanical injuries, to protect the brain from shock, and this is the role of cerebrospinal fluid. Where it is present? It is present between the three layers of the membranous covering over the brain. So just I am repeating all these things. Today's topic, the brain. The brain, which is the size of the brain, is size of the weight of the brain is 1.35 kgs, which is approximately 2% of the body weight. It contains 80% of water. It consumes 25% of oxygen taken by the body. It is covered by a tough covering, which is the brain box or the cranium. Inside the brain box, there is a three-layered membranous protection. Outermost is the dura mater, middle layer is the arachnoid, and the innermost layer is the pia mater. Outermost layer, the tough layer, it contains the tough fibrous covering. The middle is cushion-like covering, and the innermost is the delicate covering, which is richly supplied with the blood vessels. In between these three layers, there is a fluid which is termed as cerebrospinal fluid, and this fluid protects the brain from mechanical injuries and shocks. So next is parts of brain. Parts of brain. Just a layout of this. Parts of brain. Brain is basically, brain consists of three major parts: cerebrum, cerebellum, or the third one is the medulla oblongata. Cerebrum, cerebellum, and medulla oblongata. In the next class, we will discuss about the cerebrum or cerebrum, then the cerebellum and medulla oblongata. Thank you, students, for joining today.